single, two-shot, Dutch angle, a push pass. Ever wonder what all this film jargon means? Well, as storyboard artists, it's not enough to just understand the language of film. You need to know how to bring these shots to life on the page. So in this video, I'm breaking down 6 essential shots. I'm going to tell you why filmmakers use them, and more importantly, how you can learn to illustrate them with precision in your storyboards. Welcome to Beyond the Process. Thanks for joining me today. During my 30+ years as a professional storyboard artist, I've learned you need to be capable of drawing any type of shot the director throws at you. And of course, the first step in that process is to be able to understand specifically what they're asking for. So let's get started learning these 6 essential shots. When a director asks you to draw a single, he wants you to draw just one person within the frame, perfectly clean of all other actors. So what purpose does this type of shot serve? Well, a single shot will cause the audience to focus all of their attention on just this one character. Think of it like a spotlight moment, where you're capturing what the character is feeling or doing. These shots can be super tight, like a close-up that shows every detail of their face, or they can be wider to give you a sense of their environment. Okay, so now here's where it gets interesting. A dirty single is when you have another character in the immediate foreground kind of dirtying up the shot, and they're almost always slightly out of focus. Filmmakers will use this as a way of establishing spatial relationships between characters as they converse, and there are 2 main ways to do this. The first is called over the shoulder, often shortened to OTS, where the camera is up higher, shooting past someone's shoulder and head towards the actor who's speaking. And the second is referred to as over the hip. This is where the camera drops lower and shoots past the actor's hip. So let's take a look at a couple of examples of how I personally would storyboard these types of shots. You'll notice I've used the principles of depth of field to purposely defocus the foreground character as to draw attention to the person who is speaking. Anytime you have more than one actor within the frame, it can no longer be called a single. So now we refer to the shot according to the total number of actors we see. For example, if there are 2 actors in the shot, it's referred to as a 2-shot, 3 actors, a 3-shot, and so on down the line where we can have a 4, 5, or 6-shot. Eventually, when there are large numbers of people within the frame, it may be referred to as a group shot. Now, the composition of these shots varies depending on the scene's dynamics, as we want to make sure all the subjects are visible and balanced within the frame. 2 shots are often really helpful for allowing performances to play out in a single take, which can be especially useful for comedies. Now, I think it's important to note that the subjects don't necessarily have to be side by side. They can be positioned in various ways within the frame. So, for example, you could have someone in the foreground and another actor placed behind them in the background. Either way, it's still a 2-shot. Anything more than a 2-shot, so like a 3, 4, or 5-shot, are often used in films where there are several protagonists, such as a Marvel Universe movie with multiple superheroes. Here are some examples of how I've storyboarded 2 and 3 shots in the past. You'll notice how the placement and size of the actors varies within the frame. Before moving on, I have one really quick ask. If you guys are enjoying this content and find it helpful, please consider supporting us by subscribing to our channel, giving a like to this video, and sharing our content with a friend. Shane and I have been working hard to grow this channel and could really use your support. So thank you very much. Okay, now back to the video. A Dutch angle, also referred to as a Dutch tilt or canted angle, involves tilting the camera on its x-axis so that the vertical lines within the frame, say like a wall or a door, are now at an angle rather than being parallel with the screen. Doing this creates a sense of unease, tension, or disorientation for the viewer, mimicking the uneasy feeling of tilting your head to the side. As a result, It's often used in psychological thrillers or moments of heightened drama to visually signal that something is off or unsettling. Spike Lee used the Dutch angle quite a bit in Do the Right Thing in an effort to create a sense of unease between the different ethnicities living in this Brooklyn neighborhood. Now let's take a look at a couple of examples of how I storyboard Dutch angles. Next up, let's talk about a type of shot that shows the point of view, aka POV, of one of the actors. A point of view shot is a cinematic technique where the camera acts as the eyes of a specific character, or even at times an inanimate object that shows the audience exactly what that character or object sees from their perspective. This shot allows viewers to experience the scene as if they were standing in the character's shoes, creating a more immersive and intimate viewing experience. Now, different ways in which a POV shot may be used could be to show the character's unique perspective, like a sniper looking through his scope in this example from Saving Private Ryan, or to build tension like in this scene from the original Halloween film where the camera represents exactly what the killer, Michael Myers, is seeing as he stalks his victims. Here are some examples of how I storyboard POV shots. In this first example, we're seeing the POV of a race car driver pulling into the pit as the crew prepares to change his tires. And in this shot, the camera represents the POV of Mountain Dew cans inside of an ice cooler as the actors lift the lid and peer inside. In this final example, the woman with a cup of tea stares directly at camera, indicating she's speaking to an actor across the table from her, and this is his POV of her. A pedestal shot, also referred to as petting by cinematographers, is kind of a smaller scale version of a boom shot, which I've covered in a past video. So like a boom, it involves moving the camera up, pedestaling up, or down, pedestaling down, but it always maintains its level on the horizontal axis the entire time. Unlike a tilt, where only the camera angle changes, a pedestal shot moves the entire camera up or down. This technique is often used to reveal information about a subject's height or surroundings and can add dynamic movement to a scene. In this shot from Tarantino's Inglourious Basterds, the camera pedestals down through the floorboards of the French country house to reveal the family hiding for their lives from the Nazis who are searching for them. I personally use the same exact method to storyboard a pedestal shot as I would to storyboard a boom shot. That is, I place arrows on either side of the frame to represent the direction the camera is moving, either up or down. In this example, the camera is slowly moving down, starting at the actor's face and finishing the move at his boots, once again maintaining the exact same angle. The final shot on our list, and my all-time personal favorite, is called the counter move, or the push-pass shot as it is often referred to. Now, you create this type of shot by moving the subject and the camera in opposing directions, as we'll see in the following examples. If the subject is moving toward the camera and traveling left to right within the frame, the camera simultaneously moves slightly forward while traveling right to left. This creates a dynamic sense of motion and energy within the frame as the subject passes by the camera, enhancing visual interest and building excitement. You'll see this type of shot used a lot in both car chase scenes as well as car commercials. Sometimes the subject will pass out of frame entirely, or, as in this example from Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, the camera pans left with the subject as it passes by. So to storyboard a counter move, we have to indicate both subject and camera movement using arrows. So in this example, the car is approaching us moving left to right as the camera simultaneously pushes in and past the car as it continues to race around the track. To indicate the car's direction, I place an arrow pointing to the right, literally on top of the car, and then to show that the camera is quickly moving forward, I place arrows on all four corners of the frame. So, out of all the shots that we discussed today, what is your personal favorite shot to storyboard and why? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you happen to miss my 2 prior videos in this series in which I teach you how to storyboard 9 additional shots, you'll want to check those videos out here. See you next time.